Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, UNLV's new medical school building opens, and the city welcomes a new Department of Public Safety director. You'll meet the new chief a little later in the show. Here to talk about these topics and a whole lot more is the councilman who represents Ward 1. You know who it is, Mr. Brian Knutson. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
It's hard to believe it is October 2022.
It's crazy.
Suddenly. Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Years going by fast. We have a lot to talk about. You know Ward 1 like the back of your hand. In case you're not exactly sure where Ward 1 is located, well, no worries. We're going to show you on the map. It's really in the heart of the city there. It's where the Springs Preserve is located in Ward 1. That's really what brought people to Las Vegas in the beginning in the first place, was the water there. But anyway, if you live in that area or work in that area, you are, of course, in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas, and if you are a resident there, you're represented on the council by Councilman Brian Knutson. So I know you're excited. One of the gems of Ward 1 is our new medical district. It's really coming to fruition, and some of the things that we've talked about over the years are now actually out of the ground and opening. It's exciting stuff. You posted this on Facebook. You said, opening this October in Ward 1 is the new medical education building at the Kerkorian School of Medicine at UNLV. Seems like it's been a long time coming, and then in other ways it seems like, gosh, we just broke ground and now it's done, so it's exciting.
I could talk about this topic for hours. It's so significant to what healthcare is in our community. It's the beginning of, one, creating doctors, and there's multiple steps, but this is the first step that is really quite significant. And for anybody watching, I'm running now. So I am really proud of the fact that I'm running. My daughter is about to turn 5. That was always a goal, is start running again. And so I run through the medical district on Saturday mornings around 6 o'clock in the morning. I wrap my way through Shadow. If you haven't seen Shadow, it's absolutely amazing. There's a brand new LVMD sign that just went in on Shadow and Alta, and it's super cool. There's signage there that points out to all the city's districts. It really is remarkable. And the medical school is just one of 3 buildings that will go in on a 9-acre site there in the next 2 to 3 years. There's also going to be an ambulatory care center with mental health focus, and there's going to be a public health lab with medical and biomedical research focus. So I talked to our city manager this morning about the fact that Fremont Street is our economic engine. And I'm always competitive, so the medical district will be bigger than our entertainment district very soon.
That'd be something. That would be quite the shift for Las Vegas to see something like that occur.
I've been planning it for a long time. It's all coming to fruition. I'm very excited. And in the next council meeting, we'll be reviewing, and I will be supporting an application for a 7-story apartment complex building. I think that'll be the first of many in that area. So very excited, very proud of what the city has done to build up the medical district, because our community deserves it.
Yeah, and you've talked about that, Councilman, that we're a world-class city, but in the past our healthcare really hasn't been at a world-class standard. But boy, things are really changing in a hurry along that front.
And I'm getting emails every day of people that want to move their medical practice into the medical district, and people from out of state and people from out of country that are thinking about how they can incorporate their research practices, their medical practices into the Las Vegas Academic Medical District.
Yeah.
One of the things that will support that is the administration in our state is putting forward a bill draft request to consider an academic district for the Las Vegas Academic Medical District to provide additional funding to increase, improve all of that for medical health care.
And you know, it's you and I have both been around here for a while. We know there's a domino effect, that once those dominoes begin to fall, others just fall right away.
Yes.
And it really picks up momentum. Councilman, I should mention too, a lot of people may not know, you've been really invested in the medical school since the beginning. You were on the panel that helped decide what students got into the medical school early on, and that was an important decision, because those classes, their tuition was waived. It was free.
It's my favorite volunteering role I've had, is learning what medical students are striving to accomplish. And now we're just on the class that I evaluated graduating this coming spring. So I'm super excited to be part of what they're going to make Las Vegas in the future.
Yeah, and those doctors are going to stay in Nevada, in our community, and make a difference here. That was the whole idea behind the free tuition. Yeah,
Yep, it's all going to happen.
Well, congratulations. That's big stuff. And again, it's just I think I'm sure you feel like a kid at Christmas because it's like I finally get to open this present.
I wish I could show you my phone because I took a picture of the LVMD sign and sent it to the executive team here at the city and said, "What a surprise! It felt like Christmas." And I know it's been all the renderings, all the drawings. That was the response, is that we told you. But to actually see it, it just made me super happy.
Yeah. It's like you said, we've been talking about this a long time, but now it's here.
It's there. You can see it.
And students are going and learning in there.
I encourage you to walk or drive by it. It's amazing.
Yeah. And so you're going to be running, instead of 5 miles, you're going to be running like 10 after all this. You'll be so fun.
I'm actually up to 8. So
there you go. See, look.
Saturday I'll be 9 miles. If someone sees me panting on the side of the road, that's me.
Very good. Congratulations. That's excellent. And we're also very excited that we had our Pride Parade here in Las Vegas, and it was a huge success. And we are very proud that the city had a huge contingent there.
10,000 people, 60 of those were City of Las Vegas employees and family members. I want to give a huge shout out to the city team because I was there that night. I felt safe. It was a fun environment. City employees were there enjoying themselves. I was running along 4th Street at 6 o'clock the next morning, and it was perfectly clean. How they do that in the middle of the night, the stage was cleaned up, the confetti was gone, any remnants of a parade the night before,
it's what we do
completely
here.
erased. Absolutely amazing. And I was so proud of the city, proud of my family, because I'm there with my husband and my 2 children, and we stood up there with a bunch of people and got to say that this is an amazing city, and thank you to city employees.
Yeah, and I've said this over and over. I thought we had the coolest shirts.
We had the coolest shirts, yes. And I got one for my son and my daughter, and we got to ride on the fire truck, which is an experience that no other people get to have, but they should have because that's how you should do a parade, is on a fire truck.
Exactly. It's on Big Red. That's our classic fire truck, too. So it's pretty exciting stuff. I think, so people, just to clarify, Pride here is in October for us just because,
Because it's hot in the summer.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's too hot.
That's it. So
October is a great time of year to have a parade.
Exactly. The weather was perfect that night. So good stuff. And along those same lines, National Night Out, typically around the country, is the first Tuesday in August. But we always celebrate it here and in other states where it's hot in October because of the heat. So on October 4th, we celebrated National Night Out. And this is a big deal because it brings first responders in the community together more than just during an emergency, right? Yeah, and this was Bolden Area Command, which most of my area is represented by Bolden Area Command with Metro. And they were there in force with the Raiders. Las Vegas Fire and Rescue was there. Department of Public Safety was there. We had Parks and Recreation there. We had business licensing there. Looks like you have Councilman Creer there with you too. Yeah, Councilman Creer. Lots of children, lots of families, bounce houses, face painters, kids playing football in the field. Really just a great job from Bolden Area Command and Metropolitan Police Department and all the partners that helped make that possible. Yeah, it's really nice. It's an opportunity to meet the first responders that are going to be working your area. That's the whole idea. It started off, it was National Leave the Light On campaign, where the idea was to get to know your neighbors. But it's expanded now not only to get to know your neighbors on that evening, but also to get to know the first responders who are going to be looking out for you as well. It's been a huge success all across the country, but especially here in Las Vegas. My kids love going. I still have whistles in my house because of it, so I'm very, very grateful for that. Very quiet in your house. Yeah, that's good. So National Night Out, we celebrate it kind of twice in Las Vegas. We'll stick to the traditional first Tuesday in August, but then we also celebrate it in October because it's 105 in August or 110. October always is a better option. It's the event season. It's always nicer in October. Exactly. And you recently paid a visit out at Rose Warren Elementary. You posted this on Facebook. You said, what a great rainy day at Rose Warren Elementary. You have to fill us in. What are you guys doing there? So we did this in partnership with Local 1285, the Fire Department Union, as well as the plumbers, and we provided a bunch of supplies to the school. They asked us for them. And so we went out to the school and got to hang around some second graders, talk to them for a little bit about what they want to do, get them out on a fire truck and a police car, and talk to them about their futures. At the end of the day, the principals were really proactive and said, here's what our children needed. And so we surrounded ourselves with partners who could help them get some of those things. So that's Rose Warren and Wasden Elementary. Wasden Elementary is the same thing. Worked with the firefighters, the police officers,
help the kids understand what public service really is, and understand how they can be part of government and play in a fire truck and a police car. And the school got some needed supplies, and that's what it was about, is the teachers having and the principals having a proactive approach with the city, saying how can we work together to make sure that our children have the best environment possible.
Gotcha. Councilman, Wasden Elementary is kind of behind the Smiths there at Rancho and Charleston, kind of just west of there. But where is Rose Warren located?
So it's going to be up on near Torrey Pines and right out
farther
between
west.
Charleston and Alta.
Gotcha.
Right
Both,
around there.
Obviously both in Ward 1 then,
Yes.
so yeah, that's great. Tell us more about the partnership with the police and everybody else that came out that day, the firefighters, I guess with the firefighters, any other first responders?
Yeah, so we had school district police were there.
I saw some officers, yeah.
Yeah, so we just asked and said these children are looking for a way to engage. The teachers and principals are looking a way to support them. Can you help us? And so that's what this community is all about. Is
Nice.
Know what you need, know what you want, ask for it, and ask for help.
It seems to be really a theme here. I've lived in Las Vegas a long time, and whenever there's a need in the community, people always step up, and I've never noticed that it hasn't.
It's hard to establish priorities for our community.
Yeah, it is.
Money always follows. Money is not the issue, it's priorities. So
Right.
if we can align around key things that this community needs, everything else is easy.
Well said, very well said. And then, Councilman, I love this. You're going to be doing a new feature where we feature Ward 1 Wednesdays, we're calling it, highlighting small businesses in the ward, right?
April, who was on the show last time, it's her idea. I'm really happy to support her. And so, yeah, we're going to different restaurants once a week and trying out new foods and helping our ward understand that you don't have to go to the same place every night. There's multiple places to eat in Ward 1. So tomorrow we're going to Healthy Foods in the Smiths parking lot. Looking forward to it.
You know exactly where it is. That's great. What's nice about segments like that is obviously you help promote the small businesses, but for the residents, everybody else, like, we learn about things that maybe we didn't even know were there.
Yeah, there's so many hidden gems in Ward 1 and the entire city of Las Vegas, so trying new things is super fun.
Exactly right, and it's like some of these things may literally be around the corner from your place and you may not even know that they exist. So it's good stuff. Well, Councilman, looking forward to the segment, and you'll highlight one small business a week?
Correct.
Is that the idea? Okay.
One business a week.
All right, sounds good. And we'll see that on your social media?
I believe so,
Okay.
yes.
All right, all right, okay.
I go for the food. Somebody else has to help with the social
all right.
media.
Social media is good, and then we'll talk about it on this program as well. So if you have a small business in Ward 1 that maybe would be nice to feature on one of Councilman's segments, maybe especially a brand new business, know that they'd love to hear from you. So before the end of this program, we'll tell you how to contact Councilman Knudsen and his great staff, and just drop them a line and say, hey, you know what, I've opened XYZ business, this is what we do, and
I like learning new things too.
Yeah,
So if there's new
exactly.
businesses outside of food, I always try to support
Food's
new
good.
things. Food's
but,
good. I like eating.
There's other stuff too, so that's true. Well, Councilman, now we need to take a short break here, but when we return, the new City of Las Vegas Department of Public Safety Director Jason Potts joins the show. That's next, so please stay with us.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
So high right now.
I know, but dinner at your mom's house like 5 minutes ago.
We have to drive? I drive better when I'm high.
You don't. And you getting you killed driving high is a bigger buzzkill than your mom's new boyfriend.
If you won't listen to anyone else, at least listen to you. If you're high, don't drive. Paid for by the Nevada Departments of Public Safety and Transportation.
I'm okay to drive the remote though, right?
Welcome back, everyone. On June 15th, the Las Vegas City Council unanimously ratified Jason Potts as the city's new Department of Public Safety Director. Chief Potts has 22 years of municipal policing experience, and he joins us now to tell us more about himself and what he has in store for the city of Las Vegas. And Councilman, I know, first of all, Jason, welcome to the program. Chief Potts, good to have you here. Welcome to the city overall.
Thank you.
I know you and the rest of the council are very excited to have him join the team.
I mentioned this on the Facebook Live. I think our job is to surround ourselves with the smartest, the best, the brightest, and I think we've done that at the city of Las Vegas. So I always try to tell people exactly what I'm doing. I don't try to lie. We have people asking me all the time about some of the issues and how I'm going to handle them. And so I say my first response is to reach out to the smartest people at the city and say, what's the best way to respond to this? So Chief Potts, you've been here for a couple months now, and I occasionally will say, okay, I got a problem in this park and in this area,
yep.
And immediately you turn around and say, okay, here's how we're going to address it. And so that's what I appreciate most, being able to tell people, here's what's going to happen. Sometimes it's the best answer possible, so we've cleaned up everything, and sometimes there are rules.
We're working on it,
Sometimes you just can't fix everything, and so really happy that you're part of the City of Las Vegas team, and I think you're doing a great job in the first couple months.
I appreciate that, Councilmember. It's been I tell our folks, this is a gift of support here, that we have that kind of support from our council members and our city leadership. It's really nice to see. So
there's one, so I'm going to brag for a second. So almost on a daily basis now, I'm getting individuals who will call me and say that we have some of the unhoused folks in a park. It's a really tough issue. So here's how I respond, just so everyone knows. I always say, it's helpful if you identify what the pattern is. I think it's helpful to break up patterns. What my response is, I'm going to immediately let the MORE team know. The MORE team is a group of individuals from different social service providers like U.S. Vets, Salvation Army, and some other providers.
And law enforcement.
And law enforcement. And what they do is they go and they try to get those folks into resources.
Yeah.
So my family and I were at a picnic this week at Gary Dexter Park, and we saw just that. The MORE team was out there. They were identifying some folks in the park. They brought them some waters. You could see them trying to say, this is not the best place for you. Can we get you into our van to bring you down to where a lot more services? So that's the first response. Second response is, if there's something that's inappropriate or illegal, we immediately go to law enforcement. So if it's city parks, I'm going to call the chief here and say, is there anything we can do to help coax those folks into an environment where they're going to be safer and healthier? And that's what happened at Essex Park. So we had an individual reach out and say it was getting overwhelming, an overwhelming number of people who weren't there for good purposes. Chief Potts had the conditions team go out, and I'll let him talk about what that is. And then a couple days later, got a very, very positive response saying you should congratulate those folks who did that because it was magic. That doesn't happen. I get people complaining all the time.
Yeah, we don't hear that often.
I don't get thank yous that often, and so this is a way to say thank you to Chief Potts and his team. And I'll let him tell the story because it made a difference for that neighborhood.
Yeah, Chief, start there. Yeah,
no, for sure. We have a great leadership team. First off, Deputy Chief Kyle Ward and Lieutenant John Guillen, Sergeant Kumamaru, and Sergeant Shepard. I went out there and just really just that our conditions team is our quality of life team. So we do offer services, and when they don't accept those services, then we come out with our conditions team and we deal with them. And so and that's again educating the public on what we can and can't do, offering them services. But at some point when they don't offer those services, we bring our conditions team in. We have our rapid response team as well to clean that area up, and that's what we did in the park. And so kudos to those folks. They're a great team.
You get a quality of life that's better for everyone around that park as well. And those folks who it's not healthy for them to be in the park, they get access to resources that they don't get in that park. And
exactly, and we get them services and try to find them housing too. Yeah, that's really the goal. So, Well, Chief, maybe also explain for people that don't know exactly what our Department of Public Safety does. Why don't you kind of run through the list of what the responsibilities are?
Sure. So we're a very unique department. So we have two main pillars of the criminal justice system in detention and our public-facing deputy city marshals. Those are two. So we also have a third, which is our professional staff and our animal protection services. So again, we're about 380 strong. And as far as the detention side of things, our first and foremost, we want to keep our inmates and our staff safe. That's our first priority. But when we're not doing that, we offer social services. We have a gamut of social services that we provide, and that all the way from skill building to job, culinary type skill training, custodial technician training. We do mental health, substance abuse services. We have a discharge planner. We have resource seminars. So our mantra is really leaving them better than we found them. And so we know that 99% of folks that go to jail, or especially to prison, they come out. And so we want to make sure that we leave them better than we found them. And so it's really kind of a sense of pride for our department is that we do that. And then as far as the deputy city marshals, we're a limited jurisdiction department. So we have essentially our parks. We have over 80 parks, over 70 facilities, and we have about 200 miles of trail and area that we police. And then most importantly, we have our Fremont Street tourist corridor from Ogden to Carson and Main Street to Las Vegas Boulevard. And so we really are focusing now on community engagement and really being proactive. I want our folks interrupting and disrupting the criminal element on one hand, and I want us engaging with the community and building strong relationships on the other, and the two are not mutually exclusive. We can still do that and be procedurally just. And what that means is explaining the process, being transparent, showing your motivations are good. It's easy. That's just basic police work, and our folks are doing it. We have a great department. They get that, and there's a strong sense of that in our department. And then our Animal Protection Services department, they just do a phenomenal job. There's a staff of about 12 to 14, and there's 21,000 calls for service that they handle.
Yeah, they're very busy.
And they educate the public on such things as our cruelty ordinance. So we don't want folks when it's hot. We want multiple cooling sources for animals when it's over 105 degrees. We don't want animals tethered for more than 10 hours. And if it's hot and your feet are hot on the pavement, so are your animals. Yeah. And so just think about that. We want to really protect our animals and our vulnerable populations. And then our professional staff, they do a phenomenal job.
I've had the opportunity to do a lot of ride-alongs actually with the marshals. They care about this community. And so that's what's most fun for me is to see somebody who really cares that goes out and chats with the folks who are maybe doing something they shouldn't be doing and talk about their options, and they do so with compassion. With the corrections staff, I've been on a number of jail tours. And they also care about their job. They care about this community. I've done one ride-along with Officer Hawk in Animal Control, so I probably need to do more ride-alongs. But he was great. I mean, absolutely great. We found a couple of dogs that needed to go to the Animal Foundation. I missed the snake. I was really hoping to see the snake. I didn't get to see the snake. So that if I go back, I saw Officer Hawk actually at the National Night Out. So I told him, I was like, if there's a snake, call me. I'm jumping in the truck with you. But
unless it's an anaconda or something, maybe.
If I can stand back and watch. But it's just amazing, like how much they care about this community, and for every single person that calls in, that's my first response. Is we have an amazing team here at the city that absolutely care about the people, the animals, and want to make sure that we have the very best community we can all thrive in. And so I'm super proud to be part of the city in general.
Councilman, I know you're also very excited about the Chief's vision for what he'd like to accomplish in the new job here. And Chief, why don't you touch on that a little bit? What's in store for the department?
So when I think of things, I think of how we measure, how we reward, and how we discipline. But it really starts in 7 principles. And the first one is building trust, confidence, and legitimacy. And we do that with good data and good community engagement. The second one is employee health and wellness. And so we're proud of the fact that we hired a behavioral health administrator, Yamil Landrian from Metro. And so that's really thinking about our internal folks, the things that they deal with. We hire from the community. Our people have issues just like anyone else in relationship issues and that kind of thing. So when I talk about our lens, our people are our greatest resource, I mean that. That's priority for me. And then the next one is policy. We're on a track towards CLEAR accreditation by March of 2025.
Explain what that is to the viewers.
So that's a national standard it's a sense of pride for all of us. It's a national body that looks at police practices, and we get nationally accredited, and we have to go through a gamut of things.
It's hard. It's hard to get
it's
that
difficult.
accreditation, yeah.
It's very difficult. It's a long process, and March of 2025, again, it'll be an enormous sense of pride for our department. And so then technology is another major piece of this. We're looking at license plate readers and artificial learning kind of computer vision cameras and security cameras on some of our tourist corridors and some of our parks, and then strong training, and then community engagement and crime reduction. We talked about community engagement and community policing. It's not an either or, it's a both and. And then finally with an eye toward hiring, staffing, and retaining our folks. Really, really important. So if we hit on those 7 principles and how we measure, how we reward, and how we discipline, I think we're going to be doing pretty well.
All right.
If I can ask a question,
Yeah,
what do you do to become a chief of police? What's your training and background?
So yeah, my training, I obviously went to school and I moved up the ranks through in Vallejo, where I came from in Northern California, it's the city between Oakland and Sacramento. I was the number 3 and number 2, and I was pretty proud of some of my operational experiences. I was involved in evidence-based policing. I helped co-found the American Society of Evidence-Based Policing. So I've done some practitioner-led research in my department, so I'm pretty proud of that. And so just getting out there and letting people know my value, and I talk about value quite a bit with our department. What is your value? And each of us has a value, and then each of us collectively, all of us collectively have a value as well.
You're being humble too, because you also have a master's degree. You're
Yes.
well educated, not just on the police side, but also from the academic side as well.
Yeah,
So.
University of California, Irvine, yeah, criminology. And so, yeah, proud of some of the things that we've done. And I think that's the path I was on, and I had some good mentors. And for me, mentorship is really important in being a servant leader. Leadership for me is really taking care of your people and letting them know.
So that's what for the Ward 1 constituents and people who call me, my primary message is, as an elected official, my job is to take in all the information and make the best decisions possible. You can only do that if you surround yourself with the very best and brightest people.
That's true.
And so that's, I'm going to continue to hone in on that, as the city has some very, very smart people working here at the city who have the very best of intentions, and very, very lucky to live here, very lucky to work here, very lucky to be part of a team here.
Yeah, it's a great team here. Chief, we're about out of time, but you're the guest today, so we'll give you the last word.
Love this community. I'm thrilled to be here. My wife, Maria, and I have been here now 3 months, and we just love it. And we're looking forward to getting to know everyone. So it's going to be fun.
You'll never leave. It's the greatest place to live.
Awesome.
So, well, Jason Potts, good luck to you. Thank you so much for being on the program. We very much appreciate it. Councilman, we want to tell everybody out there, you're coming back in 6 weeks, so we want to say, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilman Knutson, you can find him on Facebook and Twitter. You can also pick up the phone. We still have those around here, 702-229-6405, or send him an email. His address is bknutson@lasvegasnevada.gov, and he or one of his great staff will get right back to you. They always do. And so, Councilman, thank you so much. Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, best of luck. We'll have you back in the future with an update on how things are going in the department. Councilman, we'll have you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 1. It'll be here like that. So, best of luck to both of you. Thank you so much. Great job. And folks, don't miss our next show beginning on October 20th with Ward 3 City Councilwoman Olivia Diaz. You can now catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire, and watch for our QR code during the closing credits of this show to subscribe to our newsletter. And don't forget, you can also watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Again, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.